When Princess Square Shopping Centre was opened in 1982, there were 6 Kone Marryat Scott lifts. They had large, slow doors with a window at one end. While my nan was shopping in Sainsbury's, I always stayed outside in the lift lobby to watch them. Last time we come down here, it was the Spice Girls. One of the 6 lifts was dedicated to Sainsbury's to collect the trolleys from the car park. It must have been an afterthought because the only way you could tell was at the back of the lift car there was an A3 laminated sheet that said Sainsbury's only. It was kind of locked off. If you pressed the floor, the doors would start to shut, but then reopen when you let go. So you had to keep the button pressed until they were shut for it to move off. This is how Princess Square looked in 1985. Notice the position of the escalators. On the right, next to Sainsbury's, were these lifts that went up to the balcony and car park levels. These were the first lifts that I've ever seen that went from full speed to stop in one movement without switching to a slower levelling speed in between. I can't think of many geared machines nowadays that do this. There are no longer 6 lifts, but this is how the lift lobby used to look. Each lift had a light bulb display above the doors on the ground and first floors, like these ones, with this type of button inside. I think these have been upgraded again. Right, used to be, when these were first installed, used to be a call button. It used to be behind the glass, then they moved it to that position there. Oh. And there used to be lifts on the other side. There used to be 3 lifts, 1, 2, 3, mirroring the ones over here. Obviously completely different now. I've never seen them before, to be honest. Although why would I lie? So yeah, there used to be lifts here. Not really sure why they got rid of them. Let's go back to 1985. Here is a lift lobby with the 3 lift shafts on either side. Things have changed since then. The escalators have been moved. This is where they were before. The 3 lifts on the left have been knocked out to make way for 2 extra shops and some extra spaces on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th floors, which probably go all the way back. Why? Well, don't you think that 5 passenger lifts with the 6th for Sainsbury's is a bit of an overkill? There are only 5 landings. So why not knock out these lift shafts and use the room to generate more revenue and open a couple of extra shops? Trying to see what that shutter's for. Not much. So I don't know how you get to the motorroom, but it's not that way. What does puzzle me though is what those extra spaces are used for, and if there are any remains of the old lifts behind them panels. The Kone Marryat Scott lifts used bells. When the lift arrived, you would hear this ping, but unless you were positioned centrally in this lift lobby, you couldn't hear which one had arrived. You just had to look for the lift with the open doors. With the lift doors set back beyond the pillars, this was also difficult. Adding to this problem were the fact that the car park levels were open at one end, so a bell that pinged on the floor below could be mistaken for a lift arriving at your level. But these problems weren't exactly life-changing though.
Third floor. Let's see if we can see any evidence of these old lifts. No. Don't understand what's in there. That's where the old lifts used to be, and they used to start at that wall there. So that whole section there, that whole white section, well, I don't know what's in there. These have definitely been MRL'd. Just been modernised. Oh, excellent.